What would happen if a direct attack was launched on a nation in response to a strike on its embassy? In a world where tensions are high, let's consider the recent events in the Middle East. The Damascus attack on Iran's embassy marked a critical turning point in the already tense relations between Iran and Israel. Iran was quick to point the finger at Israel, escalating the long-standing proxy war between the two nations. The United States and Israel in response were put on high alert, bracing themselves for potential Iranian retaliation. And then it happened. Iran launched a direct assault on Israel, missiles raining down on Tel Aviv and other cities over several consecutive nights. Over 300 ballistic and cruise missiles were fired, some even targeting areas close to the Israeli parliament, causing a wave of panic among lawmakers. The Israeli Defense Forces, alarmed by the proximity of the threat to their parliament, approved retaliatory strikes against Iran. On the other side, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards responded to the Damascus attack with a barrage of their own, including advanced transmitters. As the missiles rained on Israeli cities, the world watched, holding its breath. In the face of aggression, allies rallied to assist. But how did the world respond to this unprecedented attack, and what were the consequences? At the first sign of Iran's assault on Israel, a wave of international concern swept across the globe. Israel's allies, including Britain, France, and the United States, were quick to rally to their side, dispatching immediate aid and support. They understood the gravity of the situation and were determined to stand by their longtime ally in its time of need. Simultaneously, Jordan, known for its diplomatic efforts, attempted to mediate the escalating situation. The goal was clear: to prevent a full-blown war in a region already marred by conflict. However, the intensity of the situation made these efforts challenging. As the Iranian missiles streaked across the night sky, the Israeli Defense Forces were put to the ultimate test. Thanks to their advanced missile defense systems, they were able to intercept most of the incoming threats. Still, the sheer volume of the assault meant that some missiles found their targets. Moderate damage was reported in several areas, including an ambulance and an airbase, raising concerns about the potential for significant harm. In the midst of the chaos, an emergency meeting of the Israeli cabinet was called. The leaders gathered to discuss their response to Iran's unprecedented aggression. The situation was critical, and the decisions made in that room would shape the course of events in the coming days. The cabinet approved retaliatory strikes against Iran, sending a clear message that aggression would not be tolerated. They warned that any further Iranian hostility would lead to American bases in the region becoming potential targets. It was a stern response, aimed at deterring any further escalation. While the world watched, Israel's allies mobilized and the Israeli cabinet prepared its response. In the game of war, warnings are as potent as attacks. What was the final message from this conflict? As the sun rose on the Middle East, the echoes of explosions faded into the background. The smoke from the night's assault had begun to clear. Iran's operation had concluded, yet it was a night that would not be easily forgotten. In a stark display of military might, Iran had launched a direct assault on Israel, causing panic and chaos. What was remarkable about this assault was not the damage inflicted, but the message conveyed. Most of the missiles fired by Iran were intercepted, and the damage to Israeli soil was minimal. In fact, reports suggested that the Israeli embassy in Damascus had suffered only minor damage, a testament to the efficacy of the Israeli defense system. But the real impact of the assault was not in the physical damage caused, but in the psychological warfare that ensued. In the aftermath of the attack, Iran issued a warning that echoed through the halls of power across the globe. Iran's message was clear: any further Israeli aid in the region would make American bases vulnerable to attack. This was more than just a threat. It was a calculated move, a chess piece moved into place, a warning shot that reverberated around the world. Such threats are not made lightly, nor are they ignored. The world was watching, and the stakes had just been raised. The implications of such a threat are far-reaching. It's a reminder that the conflict in the Middle East is not confined to its geographical borders. It's a global issue, one that has the potential to pull in international powers and escalate the conflict to dangerous levels. As the dust settled, the world was left with a stark warning: further involvement could escalate the conflict to dangerous levels. The end of the assault was just the beginning of a new chapter in the complex game of international politics.